Hey everybody, Budleyneck here. It's time again for another Mods of the Week video. We hit 9,000 subscribers, you guys. That's insane to me. We more than doubled in 5 days. It's only been 5 days since the last video. Thank you guys so much. This is unbelievable to me. Thank you guys so much. This shout out goes to Jader. The name of the mod that I use that shows the item at the top is Here's What You're Looking At, or HWYLA. I get asked that a lot down in the comments. I'll leave a link down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, commenting, and subscribing. We've got 10 amazing mods to go over today, so let's get to them. Better Default Biomes adds quite a bit to the game, including 2 beautiful trees, which add 2 new types of wood, all the things you would expect to get from those woods, some new plants that will be scattered throughout your world, including some really nice looking flowers and cactus, some new types of grass, some new arrows, a mentionable one being a torch arrow, which is pretty nice. It adds a whole bunch of new enchantments, some that smelt ores while you mine, some that will light up mobs around you, give them the glowing effect. There's a hunting enchantment for your bow and crossbow that make you do more damage against animals. There's shield enchantments. And there's even a whole bunch of new horse armor enchantments, which is pretty cool. And it also adds 9 new mobs. The first 2 we're going to go over are in the jungle. We have the Hunter and the Jungle Creeper. The Hunter's arrow will apply glowing and poison, and hunters will actually hunt down some of the other mobs in the game. By default, Jungle Creepers will spawn in groups of 1 to 3. They disappear and reappear. Luckily, they have very low health, so they can usually be one hit. The Lost Miner can be found in any biomes. His attacks will set you on fire, and he has a chance at dropping his pick and his helmet. Bandits can be found in desert biomes. Their arrows apply the weakness effect. There are melee and ranged variants, and they like to hunt down rabbits, although this guy's not very good at it. And last but not least, we have the Frozen Zombie. These can be found in any snowy biome. Their attacks apply slowness 2 and mining fatigue 2, and they drop frozen flesh. And this mod is very highly configurable. You can turn on or off or adjust pretty much every single thing in the mod. The Double-Bladed Axe mod is a very simple mod that adds 1 item, the Double-Bladed Axe. This is unique in a couple ways. First of all, you can imbue it with potions, and whatever potion you put on it, the axe will then apply a weaker version of that potion whenever you attack with it. It can also attack in a 2x2 area, which means it can hit more than 1 mob at a time easily. And in case you were wondering, yes, it does still work as an axe. LDShadowLady's flower breeding mod allows you to cross-pollinate vanilla flowers to get new flowers in a variety of colors. To begin, right-click any vanilla flower with an empty pollen jar. Now right-click another vanilla flower with that pollen and you'll get seeds. Plant these seeds just like any other crop in the game. Once they're fully grown, you can harvest them and plant them wherever you like. Name Tag Tweaks is a very simple mod that makes a few changes regarding name tags. It adds a recipe to make name tags, a command that you can use to change the name of a name tag without an anvil and without experience. And finally, when an entity comes to its end that has been named with a name tag, it drops the name tag. And all of this mod is very configurable. You can turn on or off whatever features you like or don't like. The Sakura Rosea mod is dedicated to the classic pink Sakura tree, also known as cherry blossoms. It adds a beautiful new biome loaded with pink. If you like pink, you're going to love this mod. And honestly, Minecraft could use a little more pink. They've made pink versions of everything you expect to get with a new variety of wood. The Sakura trees drop cherries instead of apples, and they've also made cherry tea that gives you a little bit of a speed boost. They've introduced white clay that you can make white bricks out of, and then you can make everything you'd expect to be able to make out of bricks with those. I imagine there's going to be a lot of happy people with this mod. Everything it adds is gorgeous. The biome, the building blocks, everything. It all looks great. AVA, or Alliance of Valiant Arms, adds quite a few weapons to Minecraft, and they all look pretty amazing. Even down to the way you hold them and run with them, the animations that they've used, it all looks great. They're taking the time to add in all the small things that make big differences. Each weapon has its own behavior and they all feel right, whether it's how it zooms in when you aim, or recoils worse the longer you fire, it all feels pretty satisfying. In general, sneaking will improve your performance whether it's less recoil, a smaller spread, or a steadier hand. And jumping or flying will cause the opposite. They've also added 2 sets of armor that increase your speed while sneaking, and there's a new crafting system, so you'll have to use the AVA crafting table to make any of this. By default, glass is breakable, so you can shoot through windows, which is pretty cool, but you can actually change this in the config file if you'd prefer it not to be. I gotta be honest with you guys, this is a lot of fun, and this is an amazing start to like a zombie survival shoot 'em up. The Enchant With Mob mod adds the enchanter from Minecraft Dungeons to Minecraft. This mob will enchant nearby enemies with increased protection and attack damage, making them much more difficult to defeat. I gotta say, I love seeing the interaction between the mobs. This adds a whole new layer to each battle in Minecraft. It would be cool to see this get to a point where each battle actually requires a little more strategy on our part. The Vulcan's Revenge Plus mod adds 4 new weapons and 1 new tool to Minecraft. To get the Vulcan sword, you first have to beat the Ender Dragon and then gather the 4 required items: a scoot, a nether brick, blaze powder, and magma cream. And then find the Ancient Sword Pedestal, which is a new structure that will spawn somewhere in your world. Once you've placed all 4 required items on the correct pedestals, get ready for a battle. You're going to get wave after wave of mobs, and if you're able to actually beat them all, it will unlock the Vulcan sword, which is a pretty awesome sword. It consists of 4 stances. You right-click to change the stance. There's Fire, which will ignite targets, Frost, which slows targets, Heavy, which will deal heavy damage to the target, and Wither, which obviously applies Wither effect to the target. There are also 3 more weapons and a tool themed off of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You create blank runes, and then you apply these runes to horses under very specific circumstances. For instance, to get the famine rune, you first have to feed a horse until he's full, and then apply the rune to him. Now right-click the rune while you're holding a diamond pick in your offhand, and this will create Famine's Scale. All 4 of these themed items have multiple skills and abilities, and they are all awesome. These all give you some sort of benefit just by holding the item, but then they also have multiple skills and abilities based on whether you just right-click, or if you crouch and right-click, or if you're holding down right-click. I gotta say, I love the way that you get these items. It's not as simple as crafting something. You have to actually gather things and perform sort of a ritual to get it. And they all require you to either beat the Ender Dragon or at least get to the end to get Dragon's Breath, so they're not things you're going to be able to get too early on because they are pretty powerful. The Bag of Yurting is a powerful, versatile, dyeable, upgradable, all-purpose yurt storage tool. There are 7 versions of the bag from 1x1 all the way to 13x13. Each bag can store a set amount of blocks based on the size of the bag. When you right-click on the floor, that will mark the center of everything that the bag should collect. The bag will even remember what items are in the chests or in your furnaces. It'll take care of everything. This makes exploring in Minecraft much easier. You can actually bring your base with you. And I love how the bags are upgradable. That way, as you play and you need more space, you can upgrade your base and upgrade your bag, and you're good to go. And 13x13x13 is pretty huge. That's a lot of space. Shulker's Faithful Factories hopes to complement Minecraft by opening up the possibilities of creating more farms and making more resources renewable. Currently, the main feature of this mod is the Shulker Factory. These are extremely rare structures from a long-forgotten civilization which created the Shulkers. They're made up of 30 different hand-designed pieces, which are generated at random. And that doesn't even include the obsidian tower. Some of these pieces are pretty neat too. There's some that have traps, some that have loot, there's the enchanting area, there's bridges, there's even a restaurant. Some pieces are more rare than others, so every tower that you come across is likely to be different than the last. And if you do manage to work your way to the top, you'll find a Shulker spawner, which will now make Shulkers farmable. This mod also adds a few other smaller changes that are pretty cool. For instance, spiders can spawn cobwebs, Endermen can break and plant cocoa beans, Bone mealing grass has a small chance to spawn an oak sapling, and oak saplings have a chance of converting into a dead bush rather than a tree when it's in the desert. That is all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching and for sticking around to the very end. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you so much for watching. Keep playing. Keep having fun. We will see you guys next time. Bye. I am going to be doing this for a little bit. This is a ton of fun. You guys have to try this.